Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Gaura Premanande Hari
Hare Hare Bo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So welcome everyone to the monthly Bhajan Sandhya, brought to you live by Pandava Sena in ISKCON Manchester. Thank you everyone, and thank you also for our two guests, wonderful guests today for the first time, Yogindra Prabhu and Ananda Murti Prabhu. So welcome to the monthly Bhajan Sandhya hosted by Pandava Sena in Manchester.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking the time. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Just a little bit of introduction for yourself. So Yogindra Prabhu and Ananda Murti Prabhu are very well known in the young devotee circles. They spend a lot of their time in India and London, and travel extensively, singing and chanting the glories of the holy name along with other devotees. They spent some time being brought up in Switzerland. They have obviously spent some time living in Vrindavan, but for now they're streaming live from London near the Bhaktivedanta Manor. So thank you once again for being with us. Yogi Prabhu is an English literature student at the moment, and he is also doing his little bit to write comic books. He's also a comic book writer, so he's giving the text and the narrative for comic books based on the holy scriptures, Ramayana and Mahabharata, and bringing the characters to life for all the audiences. So he's working on that. I'm sure you find it very amazing. Ananda Murti Prabhu is, you'd be interested to know, he's a professor for religion and philosophy. But amazing, Prabhu. I need to speak to you separately about how you do it and how you tackle the oddity and the odd nature of today's youth, especially in the West. So we can have a chat about that. Maybe you can share a little bit of your experiences today on the show also. And both of them are already initiated. Obviously, their primary instruction and input come from their parents. And the entire family all four of them are initiated by His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Swami Maharaj. Very, very wonderful to have the two of you today. I'm going to hand you over to our Pandava Sena crew. We have Sumedh and Dhruv with us, who are going to try and make it a bit of a session and shoot a few questions at you, and try and make it a bit of an interactive session for everybody on the show. There'll be time for Q&A at the end. The format is standard. We'll start with a quick question for the brothers, and then we'll go into the first bhajan, and like that, we'll try and proceed with the show. The idea today is we're very close to beginning the month of Damodar, the Lord Damodar's pastime with Mother Yashoda. So we'll try and touch upon that a little bit, and we'll try and, with the help of Yogindra Prabhu and Ananda Murti Prabhu, imbibe the mood a little bit of the residents of Vrindavan in calling out to our dear Lord Sri Krishna, and allow us an opportunity to serve him. So over to you, Pandava Sena. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Haribol, Yogindra and Ananda Murti Prabhu. It's amazing to have you on. So as most of the youth in ISKCON, I'm a big fan of both of your work and the kirtans, as well as the youth preaching. I find that very inspiring as well. So thank you so much for that. And for our first question, what we've decided to ask is just a little bit about what was your introduction to Krishna consciousness? Why did you choose this path? Or even if you were born into this path, why did you decide to take on and carry on this path? So would you like to say a couple of words about how you were introduced to Krishna consciousness and what aspects of Krishna consciousness resonated with you and made you decide, to dedicate your life to this path?
Can't hear you, Prabhu. You're muted. You're muted. That's better.
Thank you. We're so used to Facebook Lives and stuff. We forgot that this is Zoom. So thank you so much, first of all, for having us. We're so grateful. Thank you. It's a beautiful question you asked. We get asked it a lot. So we were born in Krishna consciousness. Our parents raised us in this spiritual culture. But at some point, we had to decide if we want to continue or not. So we were very fortunate to receive the mercy of our spiritual master when we were very young. I was only 11, Yogindra was 9, and His Holiness Bhakti Swarupa Damodar Swami, he visited Switzerland often with His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj. And they captured our hearts. And we approached them as young boys, and I asked Guru Maharaj, I said, I want that Brahmin thread. Can we have that Brahmin thread? And Guru Maharaj just laughed and he said, sure, but first Harinam Diksha. And at that point, I personally thought Harinam Diksha was like the name of a book. Okay, I'll get a book, I'll read it. Anyhow, because of his mercy, we've been on this spiritual path. I feel like if it wasn't for him, it would be even more difficult. And we chose to stay in the spiritual line because of the love and affection he gave us. And we don't want to let him down. So, and of course, to meet such wonderful devotees like all of you around the world, you see so much love in this community. Why would anyone want to leave, So that's one of the reasons why, we choose to stay. There's something here, that's not found anywhere else. So, yeah.
Man, that's a wonderful answer, that you found something here which touched you, that love and that care. And that's something truly that Srila Prabhupada has set up in this movement, which is truly global. That care and that affection in this community is amazing to see.
Exactly.
I was going to say, it's the first time I've heard that someone's been initiated at the age of 9 and 11. I've never known anybody who got initiated so young and received mercy. Today on the show, we have a lot of youngsters, and I hope that a lot of them can take some inspiration and of course with the guidance of their parents and elders, and take a decision on choosing the right things in life, such as Krishna consciousness. We've just also been joined by our very dear friend Jagannath Kirtananda Prabhu.
Jai Jagannath Prabhu. Long time no see.
Thank you for joining on the show, Prabhu. So we're only just getting started, and we only just found out that our guests today were very, very fortunate, got initiated so early in life. It's amazing the power of the mercy of the holy souls, such as the spiritual master. So I was just touching on the point that a lot of youth today need a lot of guidance. So hopefully, they can draw some inspiration on listening to the two of you today. I think it's a good time for us to get into the first bhajan of the night.
Jai.
Haribol.
Okay, so are you going to put it on the screen, or should we just get our own?
Yeah, we'll get it on the screen. Sumedh, if you can.
I'll put it on the screen. Yeah.
Is that the Dule Dule?
Dule Dule Gaurachan.
Haribol. Beautiful. Yeah, I've heard Vaisakhi Prabhu sing that. So his tune's kind of stuck in my head. You've gone mute again, Yogi Prabhu. Thank you. So we'll let you take us into the first bhajan for the night, and Sumedh, if you can bring that on the screen for everyone. Thank you.
So our Madhava Prabhu, he asked us that, can you do a little transition into Kartik? Can you do a little meditation on Kartik? So for the past few days, my brother and I, we were meditating on what bhajans to sing so that we can get into the right mindset of entering Sri Vrindavan Dham. One really amazing thing about bhakti yoga, and it's a powerful and it's a magical thing. This isn't a cheap, a tradition that all of us have been born into and we take it for granted. It's a tradition full of science, a tradition full of magic even, and power. Think about this. Through mantras, through chanting Vrindavan, Krishna, these special holy names, we can enter the realm of Sri Vrindavan Dham. That's special. We can enter the pastimes of our Krishna. We can get to know Krishna. Krishna is present before us. He descends. Golokera Prema Dhana Hari Nam Sankirtan. He descends from the spiritual world on our tongues. He comes in the form of deities so that we can see him, so that we can worship him personally. So this is a tradition that is full of mercy and full of saving grace. And I beseech all of you to just keep grabbing onto it and keep staying on. So we were meditating. How do we enter Vrindavan, even Mansik Vrindavan? How do we enter Vrindavan through heart, through mind? And immediately we thought, well, how did Lord Chaitanya do it? So Dule Dule Gaura Chanda is literally Lord Chaitanya entering Sri Vrindavan Dham. It's a beautiful, light-hearted bhajan. And Damodar Ashtakam is the second bhajan we'll be singing. It can be heavy and intense. It can be. Maybe for some people it's not. Maybe for some people it's very lighthearted and jolly. But when I sing it, the mood is very intense. So this is like a nice contrast to the intense bhajan. It's a nice light mood, and then we can go into the deeper, more intense Damodar Ashtakam. So we'll just read the translation, and and then we can start singing. So translation, the first verse. The moonlight, Lord Gaura Chandra arrives in Vrindavan while dancing, swaying to and fro, and singing the glories of Lord Hari. The creepers adorning the trees of Vrindavan are overwhelmed with ecstatic love, and they are speaking about the glories of Lord Hari. Flocks of birds who live in the groves are singing the name of Lord Hari. Lord Gaura says, Hari, Hari. A female parrot responds, Hari, Hari.
And then all the male parrot and female parrots start singing a loud chorus of the name of Hari, Hari.
Becoming intoxicated by the holy name, the deer come forward from out of the forest. The peacocks and peahens are dancing and frolicking in ecstatic love.
Lord Hari is in his heart. Lord Hari is in his meditation, and he always chants the name of Hari with his voice. Gora Chand is intoxicated by ecstatic mellows and rolls around on the ground while singing Hari Nam.
Arriving on the bank of the Yamuna River, he dances wildly while chanting Hari, Hari. Mother Yamuna becomes so ecstatic that she arises and comes forward to wash Lord Gauranga's feet.
Chai. So bro, do you have anything to say about what we just read?
It's beautiful. So like just as Lord Chaitanya is entering Vrindavan, so maybe when we sing this song, for those of you that have been to Vrindavan, maybe you can just close your eyes and really meditate on Vrindavan, how it feels to be there, the smell, the sounds of the birds, walking on that soft Braj, that soft sand of Vrindavan that is considered the highest, most precious jewel in this universe, actually. Yeah, it's nice to, when you sing the song, it's nice to always have the meaning in mind, because sometimes otherwise we just sing the Sanskrit without actually knowing what we're saying. So it's good that we read the translation first, and then in our minds we can have the translation going on while we read. So I'm excited.
One thing I noticed is that Lord Gauranga is chanting Hari. Not only Lord Gauranga, but the birds are chanting Hari, the deer are chanting Hari. So they're always chanting Krishna's names. And like we read in Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada explains how everybody, the gopis, the gopas, the elderly gopis, everybody is chanting and chanting and chanting. And he explains to us that just by chanting, we have association of Krishna. We can remember Krishna. So it's like a very tangible way of constantly remembering Krishna. And as we all know, Krishna says, Manna mana bhava mad bhakto. So always remember me. So the easiest way to remember Krishna is chanting Hari Hari. So we'll start. Please sing along. I wish we could see all of you today and sing with you, but COVID. So. Dhule dhule Gaura Chand, Hari Guna Gaye. 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 Ashiya Vrindavane, Ashiya Vrindavane, Ashiya Vrindavane, Ashiya Vrindavane, Nachi Gaurara, Nache Gaurara, Nache Gaurara, Nache Gaurara, Dhule dhule gora chan, Hari gunagan. Dhule dhule gora chan, Hari gunagan. Dhule dhule gora chan, Hari gunagan. Dhule dhule Vrindavan nirtaru lata, preme koi hari katha. 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 Nikunjera paki gudi, Nikunjera paki gudi, Nikunjera paki gudi, Nikunjera paki gudi. Hari Naam Sona, Hari Naam Sona. Dhule dhule gora chan, Hari gunagan. Dhule dhule gora chan, Hari gunagan. Dhule dhule gora chan, Hari gunagan. Bolo. Dhule dhule gora chan, Hari gunagan. Gaura bole Hari Hari, Gaura bole Hari Hari, Shari bole Hari Hari. Gaura bole Hari Hari, Shari bole Hari Hari. Gaura bole Hari Hari, Shari bole Hari Hari. Gaura bole Hari 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 Hari, Shari bole Hari Hari. Mukhe mukhe shuka shari, Mukhe mukhe shuka shari, Mukhe mukhe shuka shari, Mukhe mukhe shuka shari. Hari Naam ga, Hari Naam ga. Dhule dhule gora chan, Hari gunagan. Dhule dhule gora chan, name mata hoye, Hari nashiche de, Hari name mata hoye, Hari nashiche de, Hari name mata hoye, Hari nashiche de, Hari name mata hoye, Hari nashiche de, Mayur Mayuri preme, Mayur Mayuri preme, Mayur Mayuri preme, Mayur Mayuri preme, Nachiya khela, Nachiya khela, Nachiya khela, Nachiya khela. Oh, dhule dhule gora chaan, Hari gun gaye. Dhule dhule gora chaan, Hari gun gaye. Gora gora, dhule dhule gora chaan, Hari gun gaye. Dhule dhule gora chaan, Hari gun gaye. Rane Hari, Jane Hari, Prane Hari, Jane Hari, Hari bolo badan bhori, 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 Hari naam ge ge, Hari naam ge ge, Hari naam ge ge, Hari naam ge ge, ras gale ja, ras gale ja, ras gale ja, ras gale ja. Dhule dhule gora chaan, Hari gun gaye. 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 Hari gun gaye, Hari gun gaye. Ashiya Jamuna dhule, Ashiya Jamuna Jamuna uthole se, Jamuna uthole se, Jamuna uthole se, Jamuna uthole se, Charana dhoya, Charana dhoya, Charana dhoya, Charana dhule dhule gora chaan, hari guna dhule dhule gora chaan, hari guna dhule dhule gora chaan, hari guna Dule dule gora chaan, hari guna, hari 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 bol, hari 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 bol, hari 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 bol, hari 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 bol, hari 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 bol. Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bo, Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bo, Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bo, Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bo, Hari 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 Bol, Hari 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 Bol. Hari 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 Bol, Hari 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 Bol, Hari 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 Bol. Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bo, Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bo, Govinda Bo, Govinda Bo, Govinda Bo, Govinda Bo. Govinda, 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 Govinda. Hari, 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 Bol, Hari, 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 Bol. Hari, 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 Bol, Hari, 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 Bol, Hari, 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 Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Krishna Priya Prananath Nadiya Bihari, Krishna Priya Prananath Jaya Sachidanand Gaura Hari, Maya Chandra Gaura Hari, Gaura 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 Hari, Thai Gaura Gaura Gaura, Thai Gaura 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 Hari, Thai Gaura. So, one time, during Kirtan, His Holiness Bibi Govinda Swami Maharaj, he turned to all of us devotees and he told us, if one time someone sings the name Gaura with love in their hearts, with affection, with feeling, the Lord Nityananda will grant them prema bhakti and he will deliver them in this lifetime. So let's sing the name of Gaura together. Everyone. Gaura, 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 Hari, Nitai, Gaura, 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 Hari. 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 Nitai, Gaura, 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 Hari. Gaura, Gaura, Nitai, Gaura, Hari. Hari, Hari,
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari
Haribol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Premananda.
Haribol.
Nearly there, Prabhu, nearly there. Knocking at the footsteps, knocking at the doors of Vrindavan, almost.
You know, isn't it true, Prabhu? Without the mercy of Lord Gaurachandra, we cannot enter Sri Vrindavan Dham. We cannot get Radhisham's mercy.
Absolutely, absolutely. Amazing. Dhruv, you got something to say?
just
Hare
feel like-
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for coming and participating. And as was said in the group chat, is a festival feeling. We felt as if we were with you. And this is what happens every time I listen to your kirtans from Radhish Mellows. It's an amazing feeling.
Thank you, Dhruv.
Thank you so much.
You
Someone
should
left a
come
comment
sometime to
too.
Radhadesh Mellows. We would love to see you guys in person.
Yeah.
One
We are
year.
planning. We are planning as Manchester Pandava Sena to come.
Amazing. Please come.
That was amazing, bro. Amazing. Super. I think more than what we were expecting. Wonderful, wonderful. And most of the devotees on the chat, on the show today, they have Gauratai deities. You know, we are personally relating to how Lord Gaurachandra is aging and encouraging everyone to chant Hari and Hari and
Yeah.
qualify simply by the chanting. I heard once, I almost had my eyes moist. I heard once at the 24-hour Kirtan, one devotee was singing and someone like a newcomer approached. So you've been doing this chant for so long. Tell me, have you seen God? A very challenging question. And the devotee, you know, humble they are, thought for a few seconds and then said, you talk about seeing God, I've actually heard God, but through my ears. He was referring to the chanting and to the point that you were making earlier on that he's so merciful, the Lord, he transcends from the spiritual world.
Yeah.
And for the sincere chanter, he's dancing on his tongue of the devotee. So amazing, amazing. It was wonderful. And like some devotees were saying, festival feeling, we felt like we were with you and we almost just wanted to jump out of the screens and and just have a long kirtan together. Amazing.
Same, Prabhu, same. And you know, when you were talking, and you were speaking about how the Lord descends, immediately Yogindra Prabhu came to my mind. And I remember there's this, you know, everyone can watch this. You can note it down. Yogindra Prabhu, he has many videos on YouTube like Kirtan Standards, and you can watch them and hear him talk about what the mood of Kirtan is, and it's beautiful. And his main point is cry, cry, cry for Lord Chaitanya's mercy. And I was surprised when I heard him say that, because for some reason, I thought he would say Radhisham's mercy, because he's so into, you know, the Radha Krishna Leela, and he's so, like, they're his lords, the lords of his life. But I forgot that actually Nitai Sachisuta are also the lords of his life. And he talks about we have to beg for Lord Chaitanya's mercy, because without him, we cannot get Radha Krishna's mercy. We cannot get access into Sri Vrindavan Dham. And my brother here, you know, he's humble, but he's a very big Lord Chaitanya devotee. And that's what I love, you know. I always get to hear stories from him about Lord Chaitanya and how he dances. One time he told me that when Lord Chaitanya was spinning so fast, he looked like a fireball, right?
Firebrand.
Firebrand, like just spinning and spinning. It's interesting. When Krishna comes, like, and he fights Jarasandha, it's described in Srimad Bhagavatam, it's like a firebrand, it's like a fire ring. He's firing so fast, the arrows. Even Jarasandha is like, wow, this kid has got skill. Like, remember, for Jarasandha, Krishna is just a kid. He's just like, he's a cowherd boy. He's like my nephew, you know? He's like, wow, that kid's got skill. But when Krishna comes as Lord Gaura Chandra with Srimati Radharani's heart, he doesn't shoot arrows like, steel arrows. He shoots arrows of love into our hearts by spinning and dancing and roaring the holy name.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Amazing, bro. I know Mahaprabhu with his Kirtan Party in Shiva Sangan would dance and chant on the same tune for up to 8 hours constantly. It's amazing. It's amazing. Thank you so much for that, bro. Pandava Sena, next question for the night.
So, just before we move on to the next bhajan, I was just messaging my dad and Sumedh saying, can we just leave the questions and let them sing? So, our second question for tonight is, in your KC life so far, what has resonated with you the most? What's been your best experience?
Prabhu, the most honest answer and most simple answer I can give you is devotee sangha, devotee sangha, devotee sangha. There's no other way. Even chanting the holy name, it's Hari Nam Sankirtan, Samyak Kirtan, with everybody chanting the holy name. I can't do it alone. That's the truth. I can't be in a hut chanting by myself. I don't have that capability. I need devotees. We need devotees. We need association of senior Vaishnavas, of peers whom we can talk to about our struggles, like, oh, I'm going through this. Oh, I can't focus when I chant, or, my material life is impeding my spiritual life. What should I do? And we also need, we need to also help out, like junior devotees, like, so to speak, junior, like newcomers. So we should have those 3 types of sanghas. And that's how we thrive, Prabhu, to be honest with you. That's the one thing that has been constant. The only reason I'm still chanting is because of my brother, because of my friends, because of the devotees who are looking after me, who are looking after my devotional creeper within my heart. Lord Chaitanya describes the creeper of the devotion to be like a delicate plant within the heart. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, he describes. And we must tend to it very, very, very carefully. And we must learn from expert gardeners, like who are our spiritual master, our spiritual guides. And they teach us how to maintain that bhakti plant, how to take out those weeds that also grow. So what are these weeds that grow within our heart? It's described that those weeds are our material desires. See, Nama Chintamani Krishna. Krishna's Nam is Chintamani, touchstone, desire stone. So when you're chanting, whatever you're desiring, Nam Prabhu will fulfill it. He'll fulfill your desire. So if you're chanting and you still have some material desire, he will fulfill that. But those material desires are like weeds that start to choke up your bhakti plant. So we must take those desires out and uproot them carefully and just tend to the devotional creeper and have that devotional mood and desire. And what's that devotional desire? According to Srila Prabhupada, who puts it so simply, the desire to serve and serve and serve. We are what? Servants, and the servants of the servants of the servants of Krishna. Just like I am the servant of all of you here, practically. I'm all of your servants, but that's a safe place to be. It's hard to be like a leader in charge of so many devotees. It's easier to be in that mood of humility, which is what Mahaprabhu looks for, which is what Krishna is attracted to. So the prayers of what are those prayers? What's that prayers called? Ashtakam? Like the 8 verses. No. The 8 verses that the Mahaprabhu gave us about the
Shikshashtakam.
Yeah, that's the Shikshashtakam. Yeah. So those verses are like our go-to for why we chant and what the mood should be when we chant. So yeah, Prabhu, Sangha. Sangha teaches us, and Sangha guides us, maintains us, keeps us safe. Madhava Prabhu always told us, stay in Kirtan, it's the safest place to be. Stay in Kirtan, it's the safest place to be. So you see us, we're staying in Kirtan. We're trying our best to stay in Kirtan. So I could just advise you the same, Prabhu. Honestly, Sangha, Sangha, Sangha. Keep with Vaishnavas. Your father is a great devotee. He's so effulgent. The first time I saw him, I was like, he's so effulgent. So Dhruv Prabhu, associate with your father, but take him seriously. I'm telling you from my own experience, Dhruv Prabhu, like as a young chap, you know, you have that, you know, streak of rebellious nature. You know, your father tells you do this, it's good for you. You think, oh, I know better. You know, you're growing old. I know better, modern age. But our fathers and our mothers, they know what's best for us. So especially if they're devotees, So yeah, Dhruv Prabhu and all the Pandava Sena crew, just keep around good people, good Sangha. That's the small advice I could give. And I'd like to ask my brother to say a few words on that.
Amazing, Puji. Thank you so much for that advice.
How about you guys? Like, how is it with the Pandava Sena? What do you guys do to maintain, you know, like a strong spiritual practice? What do you guys do? Do you get together every week?
Well, because of coronavirus, we're going to put the excuse on corona. But where we used to have a couple of sanghas more regularly. Of course, in temple we'd see each other every week minimum on Sunday. And because of corona, we've had a little bit of a halt since then. So this is our way of getting back into it through these groups. And actually, you've actually led us on to the next question perfectly, which is, you've experienced Krishna consciousness as youth. You've been young people in Krishna consciousness, and as part of that, you've seen people around you, peers and other people, so of similar age, or people who would, you know, take this sort of spirituality as nonsense, or they think you're weird. And so, how do you what's the word? How do you react and respond to such challenges as young people in the Krishna conscious movement?
Yeah, I think just to add on that, you know, how do you manage to come across as not the norm for the not so normal people? Right? How do you kind of take a stand that, no, this is what I'm going to be, and this is how I'm going to come across as a devotee, Krishna, given what variety of things people decide to do nowadays for entertainment.
You know, it's interesting because there's two ways, you know, you can usually respond when you know, outsiders look at you and they're like, you're so weird. One way is, you know, you can get very protective. And I've experienced that sometimes. I'm like, what do you mean we're weird? You're weird because you're in ignorance, you know? And the second way is more like what our Lord Chaitanya taught and what our acharyas taught, which is the path of humility. Just give love, show love to them, be compassionate. And like, you know, we've been recently listening to this series by His Holiness Radhanath Swami. And Maharaj is talking about Lord Chaitanya and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Now, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he is a hard-hearted logician, right? He's all about theories, and he's about hypotheses, and you know, he's very hard-hearted. So how do you know, preach to such a person? How do you convince them that Lord Krishna is a supreme person? He's, you know, he has a form. He's a Mayavadi, you know. So what does Lord Chaitanya do? He takes the most humble, sweet position. You know, he glorifies Sarvabhauma. You're like my father. You take care of me, you know. And he says, I am your disciple. Please be my guru. What is Sarvabhauma thinking now? Wow, wow, he made me his guru. And you know, he's slowly, that hard heart is becoming very soft. He's melting it with love, with compassion. And next thing you know, Sarvabhauma says, I want to teach you Vedanta. Mahaprabhu says, sure, I would love to hear from you. And then for 7 days, Mahaprabhu just quietly listens to Vedanta for 7 days. On the 8th day, you know, Sarvabhauma was concerned now. He's like, you're not saying anything. Like, did you understand what I'm saying? And you guys probably know how Mahaprabhu responds. You know, he's like, Mahaprabhu responds by saying, I didn't understand anything you said. And then, you know, Sarvabhauma responds by saying, wait, but usually if you don't understand, you're supposed to ask questions. So why don't you ask questions? And then Mahaprabhu says, no. I understand Vedanta, but what you just spoke literally is like, you know, the sun is there in the sky and you've just, covered it up with your clouds of, misinterpretation. And then, Lord Chaitanya gives the philosophy straight to him. And at this point, Sarvabhauma is ready to take it in, right? So he's ready because his heart is opened. So Sarvabhauma listens and says, okay, tell me about Vedanta. And then Lord Chaitanya reveals what real Vedanta is. And then Lord Chaitanya and then he figures out this is definitely not a normal person. This is the Supreme Lord. And he surrenders and he cries and he hugs his feet, it's so sweet. So you can see Srila Prabhupada did the same thing. He went to the West, right, where no one has a clue. Who is this 70-year-old man that's dressed in robes, like just chanting this mantra? But what did he do? He gave them love. He gave them respect. He gave them compassion. So if we can do the same and just give love, exude love out of you, just be compassionate, just be happy, be like a son, just give love. I'm sure we're going to melt their hearts and they'll start wanting to join our weird club. So that's something small that came to my mind when you asked this question.
Thank you very much. No, I like that example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. It's quite a great example of how one can be humble, and even a hard-hearted person like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, even his heart was melted by
exactly
through the humility. So
Yeah.
I think that's a very important point on how we can be a bit more practical as well when these sort of scenarios happen to us. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Madhava Kumar Prabhu, is there
I think it's we're nicely poised to get into the next bhajan for the night.
Okay. So would you like to introduce to us the next bhajan and speak a little about it before we begin?
Sure, Prabhu. Could we put the bhajan on the screen?
Yeah, I'll do that now.
So the next bhajan is very dear to all our hearts because every Kartik, which is one of our favorite months as a devotee group, we sing it and it's one of the sweetest pastimes from Krishna book, right? Don't you guys love this song?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I want to tell you something about this song, but honestly, I don't really feel qualified. These are the pastimes of Krishna. And I still feel very rudimentary in my bhakti. So let's read the translation and we'll see what Krishna inspires in the heart. To the Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who I, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding motor in fear of Mother Yashoda. But who has been caught from behind by her who ran after him with a greater speed? To that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisances.
Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To the Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, whose belly is bound not with ropes, but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances. And it's a beautiful contrast. Like, we're talking about Lord Chaitanya. This is the same Lord Chaitanya, which is now baby Krishna, like it's the same personality. It's so cool.
By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times.
O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Bala Gopal in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use to me of any other boon besides this?
O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair, tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me.
O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodar, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, please be pleased upon me. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes.
O Lord Damodar, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nalakuvera, were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby, tied with rope to a wooden grinding motor, in the same way, please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation.
O Lord Damodar, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent rope which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani. I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord who displays unlimited pastimes.
Wow, isn't that so sweet? Damodarashtakam ki jai. So there's so much to say about this sweet prayer, and I think that since we're discussing about the mood of Vrindavan and how to enter Vrindavan, we can start by explaining how is Vrindavan different. How is Vrindavan different from Vaikuntha Loka, from the different planets in Vaikuntha? So how is it different? Any one of you want to share with us? No?
Krishna in Vaikuntha, Lord Vishnu is quite serious, but Krishna in Vrindavan is less serious. He's more playful, with his coward boyfriends and gopis.
Yes. And I was thinking more in accordance with like the devotees themselves and their mood. As we can see, even written here, the mood of the devotees, the mood of Mother Yashoda is, they're not seeing Krishna, that he is they know he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but that's not why they love him. They see him as one of them, and they love him as their own son or as their own friend. And that's more important. One time Shivram Maharaj was making this point in a lecture in Vrindavan. He was saying that we don't love Krishna because he is everything and he's inside everything and he's the supreme and he's supremely majestic and supremely opulent and so cool and amazing and his universal form. But we love him because of his beautiful qualities. I love that Srila Prabhupada transformed the word God into the supreme personality of Godhead, because he's a personality. He's the supreme personality. What are we attracted to when we look at each other, when we associate with one another? Like when I'm with my brother, I'm attracted to his wonderful qualities, correct? So similarly, where Krishna is supremely charming. He's so charming, he has a sweet voice, and him in the form of a baby is the most entrancing form of the Lord, is him as a baby. It's described in Shastra that in the spiritual world in Goloka, because it's eternal Leela, they don't really get to see Krishna's Bala Leela, like how he appeared, how he had the first Janmashtami celebration, the Nandotsav festival. They don't really have that in the spiritual world. So they specially come here to Boma Vrindavan to enjoy. And that's what this song is about. It's about how Krishna drowns the inhabitants of Gokula in an ocean, in a pool of ecstatic love, because he's so sweet. His form as a baby Gopal is so sweet. And actually, we're all trying to bind Krishna. We're all trying to run and catch Krishna, just like Mother Yashoda. So Yogindra Prabhu reveals to us how Mother Yashoda catches Krishna. So, as we know, Mother Yashoda catches Krishna, and then she tries to bind him, right? But she's always 2 fingers too short. So Yogindra Prabhu explains that what are the 2 things? What are the 2 fingers too short? What are they?
First finger is, you guys, okay, would you like to say?
Yeah,
that?
would you like?
You guys can say it.
Dhruv, you can say, or anybody, any other Pandava Sena member. It's often repeated, this instruction in a lot of our.
We hear them every year without fail at Kartik. Mother Kumar, would you like to say that?
Someone in the audience, he's given the first one. The Lord's mercy is definitely
nice.
Thank you, Amy Anand. And another one, we're just looking for one more.
Related to us.
Yeah. That's the clue.
We must do something.
The endeavor.
Our endeavor.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Mother Yashoda was trying and trying and trying, right? Her endeavor.
Yeah.
And then when Krishna saw she was endeavoring so much, yeah, she was determined. And then he gave his mercy. So that's the 2 fingers too short.
Yes. Mark from the audience has mentioned determination. So that's the right
answer. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, devotees. So yeah, let's meditate on that form, and like in some kirtan, when we all work together, that's like when the gopis, they bring their ropes to Mother Yashoda. She can't bind, so she engages her gopi friends. You go get rope from your house, you go get rope from your house. So they all get ropes from their house, and then they bind Krishna together. Similarly, when we do Sankirtan, it's not just 1 or 2 of us, it's all of us that work together to bind Krishna. And then Krishna is finally bound. So let's sing together and enter the mood of Vrindavan. Namam Ishvaram Sachi Ananda Rupam Dasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Namam Ishvaram Sachi Ananda Rupam Satkunda Rango Kule Brajaman Yashoda Beoloka Ladavamanam Paramristam Atyanto Dhruta Gopa Yashoda Beoloka Ladavamanam Paramristam Atyanta Dhruta Gopa Rudram Tamur Netra Yugmam Rejantam Karam Hoja Yugmena Satanka Netram Netra Yugmam Rejantam Karam Hoja Yugmena Satanka Netram Mushwashakam Patri Rekhatakam Sita Daivam Damodaram Bhaktipadam Swasakam Patri Rekhatakam Madhyapayan Iti Pritsvali Ravi Ananda Swagosham Nimajan Jampam Madhyapayan Tadiye Sitagnesu Bhaktir Jitatam Puna Prema Tastam Sada Vritirande Tadiye Sitagnesu Bhaktir Jitatam Puna Prema Tastam Sada Vritirande Oram Deva Moksham Na Moksham Badilva Nachanyam Dene Ham Vare Sadapiha Oram Deva Moksham Na Moksham Badilva Nachanyam Hare Sadapriya Idante Vapurnata Gopala Bhalam Sadame Manasyavi Rastam Idante Vapurnata Gopala Bhalam Sadame Manasyavi Idam te mukam Ojam Matyantamile Vitam Kunta Laesika Rakasya Gopya Idam te mukam Matyantamile Vitam Kunta Ratmajo Badha Nijay Vayadva
Hare
Damodaraştakam ki
Jai.
Kirtan Yagya ki
Jai. Hari
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 Bol.
Bol.
That was ecstatic. That was amazing. Took us back
Awesome,
to
bro.
back to Kartik.
Forgive us for any mistakes. You know, before this program, we were singing at another one. The voice is dry and we're tired, but we hope that Kirtan satisfied Krishna and satisfied all the hearts of the devotees. So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. It was really, even though, you know, we can't really see you or hear you, but we felt your presence. So
Yes.
thank you so much for, you know, being here with us.
Maybe if everyone's okay, maybe just bring themselves live just to get the feel of what we're experiencing for the last hour and a half.
Yes.
And virtually feel like, you know, we had a mini Kirtan Mela of sorts. So if everyone's okay to just bring themselves live as we close.
Very well, Mark and family. It's wonderful to see
Hari
you.
Bol, Darshan Prabhu and Mataji, Mark, all the way from Warrington.
Nice to
Hare
see you all.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Oh.
So nice to see you. We're starved of not being able to see the devotees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is amazing.
Oh, Amy Anand Mataji, Hare Krishna, thank you. I thought it was a Pandava Sena kid. Sorry. Thank you for being on. Wonderful, Prabhu. I think it just brings us towards the close, but I think Pandava Sena has got one quick question, like a message question for the youth. Sumedh, I'll let you.
So at the beginning, Yogindra Prabhu, you were saying how, you know, this is so sweet, how Lord Krishna is so sweet, his pastimes are so sweet. And it reminded me of something I read quite recently, which is that Rupa Goswami writes in Nectar of Devotion that, you know, if you want to keep your attachment to your family, if you want to keep your attachment to your country, if you want to keep your attachment to your friends, then don't go to Lord Govinda, because once you see him, you'll lose all attachment for everything else, and you're just going to crave attachment to him, because that's how sweet he is. And that Damodar Ashkam, that truly imbibed that quality to me. So thank you very much for that. That made me realize that, like, thoroughly now. Made more sense to me.
Thank you for sharing.
So the last question, which we'd like to conclude, is that, well, both of you were students. Now I know that Ananda Murti Prabhu, you're now a professor, but as youth in Krishna consciousness and as former students, how did you manage, as well as all of these Kirtan events and all of these things that are going on? And alongside this, I know that Yogindra Prabhu, I know you give classes as well. And all of these sort of, you've got both Krishna conscious aspect as well as your material, if you like, aspect. So how do you manage the time between those, and what is your message to the youth of Pandava Sena? So would you like to just speak a little bit on that before we can close the session?
You know, I think we struggle all the time, just like everyone, you know. You know, when something is important to you, you just make the time, and it's simple as that. If you know, like, I might come home from a busy day, you know, of teaching lessons, but my brother is important to me, so I'll make sure I spend time with him. So similarly, we have to see our spiritual practice as more than just a ritualistic thing. You know, we're actually spending time with a person, Krishna. He's a person and he's there, he's present. That's something, you know, that we have to keep in mind when we, you know, for example, chant our rounds or read Bhagavatam. We're actually associating with these personalities. We're spending time with them. And if we have that mindset, we might be more present and more enthusiastic to do these things. And then we'll find the time. So it's very important to, you know, just make it a priority. It's not that, you know, it's something that must be done off the checklist. That's what I find that really motivates me and helps me to balance my life, you know, work, you know, and travel and sadhana and spirituality and sangha. It's all about priority. So, you know, if your priority is to get closer to Krishna, to know Krishna, like you quoted Rupa Goswami so beautifully. We want to get to know that, you know, sweetheart boy. We want to fall in love with him. We want to be lovers of God, as Sachinanda Maharaj says, you know. But in order to do that, we need to learn more about our beloved. We need to spend time with our beloved. Just like we're hanging out with you guys right now. We're getting to know you guys. You guys getting to know us. Similarly, we got to hang out with Krishna. We got to spend time with him. That's the only way. So if that is your priority, you will make time for it. And everything else kind of goes around it. So our work, our, you know, fitness, anything else we do, our, you know, hanging out with friends, social time, everything is structured around our main like priority, which is our sadhana, spiritual life. And we try and make sure everything is connected. You know, we bring it back to Krishna, because otherwise it's very easy to just, you know, kind of you know, go off and forget the purpose. Like, you know, at the end of the day, remember what is of real value. What are we here to do? What is our goal? It's always bringing it back, you know, grounding ourselves again, reminding ourselves, wait, why am I doing all of this? Why am I going to university? Why am I, you know, studying so hard in my exams? Why am I don't know, practicing harmonium, mridanga? Intention is very important as well. So make sure you bring it back to why you are doing what you're doing. What is the goal? You know, what are you trying to achieve? It's very important. Yogi, do you want to add something?
Well, it's like personally, right? When I used to go to school and we used to have projects, and you know how school is, it's very taxing. So one thing that always kept me happy, even today, even to this day, even like today itself, I was doing homework. What kept me happy, what kept me going was, oh, I have a program. I have a program tonight and I'll get to be with devotees. We'll get to talk about Krishna, hear about Krishna, sing about Krishna. So programs really kept like me alive. So like Pandava Sena right now is Corona. But when it's not Corona and you guys go and you do your work, make sure you have bhakti vrikshas and sanghas to go to. So if you have every Tuesday kirtan, Tuesday night kirtan, Wednesday night we're meeting up at Madhava Prabhu's house and discussing Krishna book. Thursday we're doing a live meeting and someone will read Nectar of Instruction together like a book club. So these things will keep you alive in your devotional practice. These like events, you know, and you look forward to them. Like I'm at school, I was like, I can't wait to go home. I just want to go to the Bhakti Vriksha and sing and do kirtan and be with devotees and have prasadam. It's such a lifeful life, you know, life. Like it's so much full of life. Bhaktim parimya mura. All the saints have been saying this bhakti is the parama. It's the greatest delight that you can ever experience. So it's like tasting mango after mango, and it gets sweeter and it's sweeter and it's sweeter. So why wouldn't you want to, you know? Why wouldn't you want to do your spiritual practice? Like my brother said, you must want it. You must desire it. Because if you really want something, you'll do it. If you really, really want something, even if you have 3 hours of sleep, if you really want something, you will do it. So you should really want Krishna. And how to develop that laulium, that greed, just associate with people who have it, like devotees. So it comes back to Sangha. So keep the Bhakti Vrikshas alive, even if it's online, even if you have to do book club online, reading Nectar of Instruction every Friday, 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m., just get together, even if it's just at home with the 4 walls, with your family members, get together at an evening, sing Gora Arti, do your sadhana practice, and just keep it strong. We were lucky to have parents who like kept a strict schedule, kept Srila Prabhupada's schedule, you know, evening arti, morning arti. So that kept us sane. Before we take prasadam, we pray a little bit, we remember Krishna. So these little tricks will keep you going in your bhakti path. That's little I can give.
No, thank you so much both, Yogindra and Ananda Murti Prabhu. We're so lucky to have your association. Really enlivened my evening, definitely. And that Damodar Ashtakam now has just given me a taste of what Kartik is like again. I've missed that Damodar Ashtakam. It's been so long since we managed to hear it. Again, from the Pandava Sena Manchester youth, we thank you so much for what you're doing, because it's very inspiring. And as well as, you know, we can connect with you because you are students. We can see, I know that Yogindra Prabhu, I think you're an English literature or English language student.
Yeah, still.
So you're still in university and things like that. We can see even in your student life how much you're dedicating time for Lord Krishna, and especially when we see at Radhadesh or at Birmingham 24-hour Kirtan again, Ananda Murti Prabhu, your mridanga playing is top notch. We've never seen levels like that before. And so just seeing
just like you guys, I'm learning, bro. I'm learning all the time. So
seeing that sort of like, you know, that these people are there that, you know, they're practicing Krishna consciousness and they're so enthusiastic, and that just motivates us more and more to become better in our Krishna consciousness. So I'd like to say a big thank you from Pandava Sena Manchester. Thank you so much for hosting this event. And facilitating. It's been amazing to have you on.
I was just going to jump in and say it's 5 minutes past 9 o'clock. We still have 25 people logged in. So if all of you really enjoy the session, please can you come off mute and say Hari Bol loudly to have Yogi Ananda Murti Prabhu once again on the show. Unmute.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
There you go. You have to come again once again, bro.
you guys are great, all of you guys.
Thank you so much for everyone.
We hope to meet you guys in person as well, hopefully soon, and we can come to Manchester.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for dialing in. I hope you enjoyed, and I think that last bhajan really kind of very nicely set us up for the Damodar month, which is just around the corner. So, so wish you all health, prosperity, stay alive, and keep chanting. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.
Thank you.